the true meltdown of the day was not over on MSNBC. It was over on CNN. So Nancy Pelosi's been holding up this stimulus package. Republicans have proposed $1.8 trillion in new spending to stimulate people who have been hurt by the lockdown. Because again, when the government forces you not to do your business,
okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
Well, then the government has taken something from you and they ought to compensate you. This is the Fifth Amendment, the takings clause. Even Democrats have been slamming Nancy Pelosi for her unwillingness to take any sort of deal.
Okay.
Andrew Yang, over the weekend, tweeted at her, and he told Pelosi to take the deal or risk political fallout. He said, put politics aside. People are hurting. Former Obama administration official Dan Pfeiffer agreed, telling Pelosi to ignore potential risk and just ink the deal. Said Democrats should aggressively pursue a COVID relief deal with Trump.
What?
This is according to Emily Zanotti over at Daily Wire. He said it's the right thing to do, but the politics can also work in our favor. Even Representative Ro Khanna, who's very far to the left, like a Bernie Sanders leftist, suggested that a stimulus package would be,
Wait for it.
a good idea. Okay, so she was asked about this by Wolf Blitzer on CNN. How unused to criticism is Nancy Pelosi? When she is asked a simple question by Wolf Blitzer, she loses her damned mind. She starts to look like the bad guys at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where their faces melt off. I mean, she just lost it. She called him a Republican apologist. I mean, this was a crazy off-the-rails interview. And if she weren't a Democrat, everybody would be... This is the brilliant strategist we have all been told is...
Wait for it.
Is the mistress of our imagination. Here was Nancy Pelosi melting down on Wolf Blitzer, of all people.
Excuse me for interrupting,
go back.
Madam Speaker, but they really need the money right now, and even members of your own...
I understand that,
but even members of your own caucus, even members of your own caucus, Madam Speaker, want to accept this deal, $1.8 trillion. So what do you say to Ro Khanna?
What I say to you is, I don't know why you're always an apologist, and many
Stop it.
of your colleagues apologize for the Republican position. Ro Khanna, that's nice. That isn't what we're going to do.
Okay, Wolf Blitzer is an apologist for the Republicans? Really? Wolf Blitzer and CNN?
What the hell?
These are their... You know how wildly leftist and in your bubble you have to believe that Wolf Blitzer is an apologist for the Republicans? It got worse, by the way. Nancy Pelosi just... Like, if Trump had done this to any member of the media, it would be, this is a threat to the free press. How dare anybody treat a member of our beloved journalistic establishment like this? This is just terrible.
The president only wants his name on a check to go out before Election Day and for the market to go up. Is that what this is all about? Not allow the president to take credit if there's a deal that will help millions of Americans right now?
He's not that important. But let me say this. With all due respect, and you know, we've known each other a long time. You really don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that was a lot of due respect there. I felt the respect. Did you feel all the respect there? With all due respect, you're an ass. She's lost her mind. I mean, my goodness. It got worse, but this was 14 minutes long. It's 14 minutes of pure pain in the octagon. She got even more unhinged. Here she was.
What?
Do you have any idea of how
That's precisely why, Madam Speaker,
short they're concerned?
That's why it's so important right now. Yesterday, I spoke to Andrew Yang, who says the same thing. It's not everything you want,
but you know what?
There's a lot there.
Honest to God, you really, I can't get over it. I didn't come over here to have you. So you're the apologist for the Obama, excuse me, God forbid.
Madam Speaker, I'm not an apologist. I'm asking you serious questions because so many people are in desperate need right now. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
When was the last time...
Let me respond to you.
Unbelievable. Okay, and then it concluded with her saying to Wolf Blitzer, Hey,
y'all, come look at this.
I feed poor people. What, from your $20,000 Sub-Zero fridge with your $13 pints of custom-made gelato? Nancy? That's how you're feeding the poor? Here's Nancy Pelosi talking about, I feed the poor people.
So that was a lie.
Let them eat cake. Literally, we're talking about how you're not feeding the poor people. That's literally the topic of conversation, is why won't you just sign a $1.8 trillion deal to give people money in the middle of the greatest lockdown in modern American history? And she's like, I feed poor people. I feed poor people nothing. Here is Nancy Pelosi concluding this brilliant interview with Wolf Blitzer. Remember, this is the most brilliant strategist of our time, we've been told.
No,
we
you
know
are.
them.
Here it comes.
I'm
We
just saying,
represent them and we know them.
as we
We
say,
know them. We represent them.
don't let the
Yes.
perfect be the enemy of the good, as they say
It is
here in
nowhere
Washington.
near perfect.
Madam Speaker.
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
All right, let's see what happens, because every day is critically, critically important. Thanks so much for
Thank you for
joining
your
us.
sensitivity to our constituents' needs.
I am sensitive to them because I see them on the street begging for food, begging for money. Madam Speaker, thank you
Have
so
you
much.
fed them? We feed them. We feed them.
Well, no, you don't. I feed them. And here's a $13 pint of ice cream, you poor person. That's incredible stuff. How do you know somebody's been in the bubble too long? That's how you know somebody's been in the bubble too long. When Wolf Blitzer is owning you in an exchange, you've been in the bubble a little bit too long. Wild stuff. But that media bubble is extraordinary. That media bubble is incredible.
You behave in a certain way and we can control the landscape. I mean, it was like really sick and contrived. And I think he got to the point where, excuse my French, BS. This is not how you treat human beings about something so special and so important as family, whether it's the line of succession or genealogy, and the ability to see, quote, grandchildren before you pass away.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
A lot of family members want that. If just to be able to have a point of reference, write something down in the family memoirs that, here's another addition to the family. So I think.
Stop it.
I think it's been a very cruel game, and I think he accepts it. And he even said, we've seen this much of this kid with bandages around its face, like it didn't move or blink or anything, and that was very weird.
Lalani Dowding, June Slater. Okay, Lalani, what do you make of this one? Should there be questions asked?
Wait for it.
I guess you can always ask questions. You should always ask questions. I mean, I saw this list come through yesterday and I was Googling moon bump like crazy. Meghan Markle moon bump. So you had me going down a little bit of a rabbit hole because I hadn't heard it.
Are you serious?
But, I think it opens wider points as well about, like you said, succession, but also how she is with her family and just the grandkids in general, not being able to see their grandfather and on Meghan's side and that as well. But yeah, no, you had me Googling Meghan moon bump a lot, and
What did you think?
Well, there were some interesting photos, that's for sure.
Oh,
Definitely some interesting photos.
I mean, the thing, June, that people forget with this story is that the reason it matters is because Archie and Lilibet would have to be removed from the line of succession if they were not born from Meghan's body. Now, some people might think that's really old-fashioned and cruel, but them's the rules. And
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
there was a lot of weird things, June, because remember, I was covering this first pregnancy really closely, and there were a lot of weird things that went on. She refused to use
Stop it.
the hospital that all royals usually give birth at. She announced that she had gone into labor actually when she had already given birth. And the baby was already at home at Kensington Palace. So you can understand, can't you, why these questions are being asked?
I completely get it, especially from the dynasty point of view, because it matters, because it's a multi-million-pound concern. It's a
Stop it.
1,200-year-old product line here. It's a business that they've got rights to. I've got to say, first of all, I am a huge fan of Lady Colin Campbell.
What the hell?
I love that woman. She dresses like Christmas every day. I think she's fantastic. And, she'll know this stuff. I'd never even considered it. I mean, she seems to be doing a Michael Jackson here,
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
with these photographs. It is quite serious because of the implications. As you say, William travels as a family. that's never really been done much with the royals. They've always travelled separately in case of accidents
What the hell?
and things going wrong, so that the succession isn't interrupted. But yeah, it shows quite easily how that succession, if anything did happen, could be interrupted, and then the onus falls back on to these two children, who, bless them, they're lovely children, whoever created them. But it should be discussed. There's so many dark areas with this. See, unfortunately for me, when she married, what's he called? Ginger Winger. What's he called?
Harry.
Yeah, when she married
the Ginger Winger.
I thought, now the Ginger Winger's going to really perform. He's got an older,
Wait for it.
woman. She's beautiful. I think she's got a particularly nice sounding voice, actually. And she was a beautiful bride. Okay, it went a bit like a Caribbean calypso wedding, but hey, you know, this is the
Here it comes.
the new life we live, and the royals welcomed her with open arms. A few cryptic comments about Prince Philip, but it was like that about absolutely everything. He was funny. He had naturally wicked sense of humour.
You serious?
What you mean Meghan is someone to be had a bit of fun with, but not to settle down with. That actress, I think he said.
Yeah, I mean, he was a sod, but that was his nature. That was just his nature.
What?
Too old to change, 90 odd. She was welcomed into that family. And then all of a sudden, once she got a grip of him, and we've seen it, haven't we? How many mother-in-laws are saying that about their daughter-in-laws today?
Oh, yeah.
She twisted him away. She got him away from his family. She got him away from his charity. She got him away from the military. Whoa. Steady on there, boy. Pull those horses back. What's going on with this couple? So I dumped them as a focal point. I thought, right, that's it. He's daft enough to follow that. No more support from me. Not that I did anything other than watch what was going on from an entertainment sort of way.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
But this couple have milked it dry. I mean, this couple, I think if there was a cut being given for people milking things that are going wrong in their life, there would be these
Stop it.
two and Kate Garraway. You know, dead Derek comes back for Christmas through a seance. There'll be something like that, no doubt. I think these people are sorry.
Sorry, Lilani, I was just going to say...
Almost there.
The thing about the travelling together, though, is important. Because the late Queen Elizabeth II used to say to William, you can't do it.
You serious?
And William can be very stubborn and very intransigent. And I'm sorry, I'm usually on William's side, but this is a massive mistake, Lilani. And this is where it gets really important, because if William and his family were to be killed in a plane or helicopter accident, and remember, this is William sometimes flying his family himself in a helicopter, we get we get King Harry and Queen Meghan. So that's why it matters, and that's why then the line of succession really comes into play with Archie and Lilibet, you see.
Yeah, no, that
That doesn't make sense.
is a really good point. And we've seen how many accidents there have been where, you know, sports teams, for example, the entire team gets killed
Or the
in
Leicester
a
City
horrific,
boss.
tragic accident. Yeah.